everybody, and welcome to this week's video when we start exploring all the arts events that we have this month. And there really is a lot going on. We have Fame in a couple of weeks. At the end of term we have a play written by a playwright for the school. And also we have two major visual arts and design events. We have Celebration of the Arts in primary and also an art show in secondary. And as part of the build-up, we actually at this very moment are constructing an installation in the corridor leading to the main hall. And that installation is going to mirror an installation we have the other side. A lot of you will have seen it. That's a tree designed by the Japanese community for the Cherry Blossom Festival. Beautiful tree, paper leaves and lighting that changes through the day to give the sense of how light changes with nature through the day. So, as I said, we now have a second installation to mirror that's being constructed, and the person behind the idea for it and can talk through what's happening is Amos, the head of music, and he's just going to tell us a little bit about our new installation. So Amos, tell us about it.
Thanks, Richard. Well, it's inspired by a trip that we took the grade 7s to when we went to Tate Modern earlier on this year, and we saw a fantastic piece by Chilean artist Cecilia Vicuña called The Rainforest Kupu, which celebrates the importance of nature in our world and highlights four main issues. It looks at deforestation, impact on our climate, the attack on indigenous peoples, and asks what can we do about it. So it's a really challenging piece, and Vicuña involved lots of local communities in the build, including people from around this area who went down to the Thames and recovered materials which were actually incorporated in the build.
Do you want to describe that piece of work? Because a lot of people won't have seen it. So
yeah, it was in the Turbine Hall at Tate Modern. I mean, the piece is huge. It's, anyone who knows who's been to the Turbine Hall, it's a really big space to fill and quite a challenge to fill it successfully. And the piece was really powerful. It had huge hangings coming down, and also there were sound recordings from local music and from nature within the indigenous communities affected by a lot of the issues we're talking about.
And this is what struck you, isn't it? It's the sound side, the fact that this installation had the visual side but also a whole series of different sounds that were incorporated into the piece, natural and as you said, from some local communities.
Exactly, it's a really immersive piece.
Right. And
what's so interesting is in grade 7 we're looking at the boundaries that music has, and one of the challenges they have is to create sound and create stories using uncommon methods. So for this installation you'll find that the soundscape they're using to recreate the rainforests is sound not using musical instruments. They have found all sorts of different ways to use either recycled material or to use anything they find around the space to create the sounds to tell the stories that they want to tell, which is really ingenious. So
again, for the audience watching this to understand, what's going to happen is you're going to walk through this space and you're going to have a sound experience. And that sound experience, as you said, is going to be of the rainforest that students have recreated in different ways.
Absolutely, and there's more to it than that. The design itself is all going to be used using recycled material as well, because that's part of the message we want to send out, the challenge we want to send out as part of our move towards a more sustainable school and our celebration of green flag status, which we're obviously aiming for. And not just the involvement of the design team, the visual arts team, the music team, obviously we were also using collaboration with INS.
So when people walk through, what are they going to see and hear in this space?
Well, they're going to hear an ambient soundscape from the rainforest. They're going to see hangings coming down. There's going to be wall art coming out from the sides as well. There's also going to be interactivity, because there will be buttons they can press that link into what we explored last year with grade 5, checking out the technology, where they're going to be able to listen to stories about those four key Vicuña points that we talked about just now, where the students in grade 7 have looked for connections that are personal to them about the impact that we're having on the world, and they're telling some of those stories both in English and in their home language as well. And so you can stop at any point, you can press the button, you can hear a story, and they're going to be effectively on a shuffle cycle, so every time you could hear a different story as you go through.
So as you can see, there's going to be a really exciting installation that's going to be the entrance, if you like, to the main hall. It's going to be both visual and sound, and as you hear, you can interact because you'll be able to play buttons which play back stories.
Yeah.
So this is a really exciting project. You'll be able to see it in a few weeks. It's being constructed now. At the moment it's all hidden because the building's not yet finished. But we just wanted to announce it so that everybody gets ready for the unveiling when it's finished in the very near future. Thank you, everybody, and look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.